Tip number four. First of all, shout out to this one new news source, I guess. They have a Substack called migrantinsider.com. I'm not really familiar. I'm going to contact the author, Pablo Manriquez, to see what he's about and maybe have him on the show. But and Abe Maldonado, our colleague, has been on the show before, is actually a sponsor. So it's really neat that they got a whole system set up. I guess there's a different version of the toolbox intended for different audience news, I guess. But they published a report about, I talked about this last week because on Telegram and WhatsApps for foreign nationals, there was a State Department memo going along that explained that how they're going to deal with the travel ban, particularly for Iranians. And it turns out Red Eagle law firm, Curtis Morris, I think he's been on the show as well a couple years back. There's a lot of lawsuits in the immigration space against the government. They had received these DOS farm state cables through litigation, and we're able to see some behind the scenes of what's going on in proclamation. And I couldn't find the actual text of these releases or on their website and stuff, but there he goes in the discussion here on migrantinsider.com. And by the way, we're having show notes with links to the things I'm showing and talking about, so you can have access to those. But essentially, they're saying the national interest exception is going to be, very difficult to get. It says the guidance stressed that such approval should be quote unquote rare and framed in America first terms, allowing travel only in quote unquote exceptional circumstances. Examples include urgent medical treatment. So I'll pause right there. So urgent medical treatment is still a possibility, but even before, when there was no travel bans, when like Iranian families would contact me for health treatment, half the time they still wouldn't approve them. So it's going to be hit and miss just on the B2 itself, B2 medical. Law enforcement cooperation and participation in professional sports competitions. By contrast, visas for family visits, education, or routine businesses were explicitly ruled out. Quote, a connection to a U.S. citizen is not sufficient grounds for an NIE, national interest exception, the cable stated. And then there's another one that cable that came out, a sports carve out. On June 16th, the Department said major sports exception applied for World Cup, LA Olympics, Salt Lake Olympics, all this kind of stuff. So they're keeping that part alive. And special rule for minorities, I talked about this last time, that they're recognizing these ethnic and religious minorities facing persecution in Iran. Adjudicators were instructed to continue processing visas for members of groups from Ahwazi Arabs, Baha'i religion, Kurds, Jews, Christians, Sufi. There's really Sufis on them, and Sunni Muslims, Zoroastrians. Applicants did not need to show individualized persecution, but consular officers were told to document evidence and cite State Department human rights reports. I tried finding human rights reports of some of these religious groups, like, and they couldn't find any sign of like the Jews and Christians, not like, let's see, Baha'is, no, but it was like Zoroastrian and Christians, and I couldn't like necessarily find in the human rights report about it. But we'll see how that works out. Visas qualifying exception will be annotated, accepted for PP restricting entry. And then, that's it. I mean, that's want to share that with you, that there's some behind the scenes leaks that have happened through these lawsuits. I give you information on what's going on.